America is deeply divided. There are only two sides to every issue, and there is no interest in finding common ground, not even with members of your own family. But as the 2024 presidential election looms on the horizon, there has never been a more important time to have the necessary conversation.
Welcome to the Necessary Conversation. Today we have the full family. It's me, Chad Kultgen. It's my sister, Haley Pope, and it's my mom and dad, Mary Lou and Bob Kultgen. We're going to dive into the top 4 political issues of the week, as we always do. Before we do that, Mom, Dad, Haley, do any of you have any rants that you want to get off your chest?
Joe Biden is the worst president in the history of the United States.
Okay.
Since he took office, there has been 8.7. Now, just listen to these numbers, please.
Okay.
8.7 million illegals that have crossed nationwide.
Okay.
7.2 million have crossed over the southern border. That total number of illegals who have entered through the southern border, get this in your mind, is greater than the population of 36 different states. And I won't name them all, but it's Alaska. It goes down the line.
Is one of them Wyoming?
I don't know.
It is. Who cares?
Okay. There has also, this is sad, 1.8 million known getaways. They don't even know where they are.
What's a
And
getaway?
that includes, they come across a
getaway car.
It's not funny. It'll be funny when they hold you up somewhere someday. And I don't even know what.
Put the money in the bag and take the keys. That was the last time you ever saw me.
Okay. And I guess
Whoa.
Haley's singing today.
Coming in hot. Haley, you know what would be great? If you had a light on your face so that we could see anything.
Look. The fucking lights are on.
That light is behind your head, so we cannot see your face whatsoever.
Hang on. As luck would have it, let me see if it's... As luck would have it, I have a lantern here.
Nice. Put on your lantern. I mean, that's a little too much. Do you want to... There. Okay, great. Looks like you're in a cave, but whatever.
Lord. Okay.
Can you put it a little further away from your face, maybe?
Getting back to my rant.
Is that better?
I mean, sure.
Okay. What I was saying is we don't even know how many children that is of the getaways. And then, there were 340, if not more, individual names appeared on that terror watch list that came across our southern border. And then the fastest number of growing group people coming across, over 20,000 communists from China. Hello, Joe Biden. I hate you.
That was the rant?
Yes. We wake up every day hoping we turn on the TV and he's 6 foot under.
Rant received. We thank you for your ranting. And now we are going to move on to that portion of our program that we always open with, a question from a listener. I can't thank everybody enough for sending in those questions. Keep them coming. If you want to send a question for any of us, for all of us, you just send it to the necessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. I go through them all. Here's what we have today. Are you ready?
Chad, did we get more?
Get more what?
Did we get more questions?
Yeah, we got a few more.
Okay.
This is one of them. Are you ready, Mom?
Yes.
This question is for Mary Lou. I have come to really enjoy listening to you talk about non-political things, such as the recent Mother's Day episode. And I actually think that you have a very pleasant voice and a nice cadence to the way that you speak. I was curious if you would ever start your own podcast. And if so, what would it be called, or what kinds of topics would you discuss that aren't political? I do have a small idea of maybe a little offshoot called the Unnecessary Conversation. Just a thought.
There you have it. Mom, We've
Wow.
got someone who likes your speaking voice and likes hearing you talk about things that are not political. Would you ever do your own podcast? And if so, what would it be about?
That was a very nice compliment. That made my day because I don't get very many of those these days.
Okay.
Non-political. Well, it's the things that I love, I guess. My children, my horsey, flowers, butterflies, plants, things like that, maybe. And then, of course, my face lotions and potions and oils and things like that.
I think if you got a little camera, you could definitely start a YouTube podcast about butterflies. You know so much about them. You're raising them. You're cultivating the plants they eat, putting them in your backyard so that they can make migration trips across the United States.
I have some in the backyard right now.
Yeah. Now, Dad, you and I once talked about you doing a solo podcast. Are you still interested in that?
Doing what?
A solo podcast.
By myself?
Yeah.
You'd have to put it together.
Yeah, I could produce it, but you would be the one on the mic with no one else, maybe taking calls or something like that.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Okay, very interesting.
I would need help too, though, Chad. I would need
Of
you
course.
to set it up.
I could do it. Next time I come visit, I could set you up with a little system and show you how to use it. It's not that hard.
But what would Dad talk about other than politics?
What would you talk about, Dad, if you had a solo podcast?
Politics.
Politics.
Okay. Haley, have you ever thought about doing one? You're big on social media. You've got some followers.
Yeah, I have. I just don't have time. I can't produce anything. I don't have fucking time. If all I had to do was sit in front of the fucking microphone and a camera, then I would do it. I have all kinds of material that I could fucking throw in the arena.
right.
Yeah, I would
So-
do it. I mean, shit. Just talking about my bakery, the fucking wild shit that happens on the weekly at my bakery, people would eat that shit up. That's why I'm writing a book.
Well, you could make a little YouTube show of it. Just shoot everything that goes on in your bakery, of course, with the permission of all involved. Cut that together
Right.
into a little 20-minute episode, throw it out on YouTube every week. I think that'd do very well.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Well, there you
Okay,
have it.
Thank you, listener. That was a very good question sent in,
and
directed
what-
toward Mary Lou.
What would you call the podcast, Mom?
Things that matter.
Things That Matter with Mary Lou. Or would it be Mary Lou's Things That Matter?
Mary Lou's, I don't know. We'd have to think up a good name. But here's something I'd like to say too. I'm not.
Can you guys hear that? Can
Yes.
you hear Playing with the Boys by Kenny Loggins?
I can hear music in the background of your audio feed, yes.
Oh my God.
It's,
You're gonna be
Willow is out there watching movies. I have the door shut. I can't help it, but it's Playing with the Boys. She watches
Playing
Top
with
Gun.
the boys.
Oh Lord. Okay. I'm not going to read any more comments because it kind of gets me upset when I do. The ones that are on YouTube and stuff, people say mean things, but then people say good things. But this is my last little rant about that. If you don't like my Best Buy 647 iPad that we do this podcast on, buy me different equipment, bitches.
Well,
What?
do you have an Amazon wish list?
No, but I could get one gathered up quickly. There's people that are making fun of my Best Buy.
Yeah.
See, in the corner, Chad was going to
Yeah.
change that to Trump 2024 or something. He was going to tell me how to do it. I couldn't figure it out.
You
And
just
now
click.
it says Best Buy.
Let me see if I can change it right here. Hang on.
Best Buy.
What do you want it to be
says-
changed to?
I don't know.
Well, you
So-
have to tell me, and then I type it in.
Trump 2024. Now I changed that. What's odd
There you
is
go.
I did change that in my iPad because when I drop photos from my iPhone to the iPad, it says Trump 2024. It doesn't
All right.
say Best Buy.
Well, I got you hooked up. It says Trump 2024 now. And
Got it.
thank you for your question. Again, anybody out there who has questions, send them to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. Now we're going to get into the main meat of the show. A lot has happened this week politically. The first thing up, the debates. With Trump's refusal to attend any of the Republican primary debates, Americans were left wondering if he would refuse presidential debates as the election draws nearer. But this week, both Trump and Biden agreed to appear in not one, but two presidential debates. The first will be hosted by CNN on June 27th, taking place in Atlanta, and the second will be held September 10th on ABC. Usually, presidential candidates agree to engage in debates hosted by the Commission of Presidential Debates, but neither of these two debates are being hosted by the CPD. This will be the first time since the CPD was founded in 1987 that the major party presidential nominees will not participate in CPD-sponsored debates. President Joe Biden's campaign rejected two additional debates on Friday that former President Donald Trump's campaign says it agreed to do. One was a proposal for a presidential debate hosted by NBC News and Telemundo. The other was for a vice presidential debate hosted by Fox News at Virginia State University, a historically black college. In response to why Biden's team rejected the additional debates, a Biden campaign official said simply, "The debate about debates is over. No more games." Trump's campaign spokeswoman Daniel Alvarez responded by saying the Telemundo NBC debate would be widely watched by Hispanic voters, but Biden's handlers are petrified to allow him to defend his disastrous record. Crooked Joe Biden is too cobarde, which means coward, to address the Hispanic community and answer for his failures as the debate on the debate stage. So, we've got these two debates now. They're coming. One of them is coming very quickly. June 27th is a little over a month away. Are you going to watch these debates, Haley?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be a clusterfuck. Like, I feel like there's going to be no rules, just two old men, like, grumping around, incoherent. It's going to be wild. Yeah, I'm watching.
Mom, will you watch the debates?
I can't believe that's even a question. Of course we will be watching.
Dad, you will watch?
No, because there won't be any.
Oh.
Whoa, a prediction. What do you think's going to happen?
Joe Biden's going to back out.
You think Biden will back out of the debates?
Yes, I do.
I'm putting this at the top of your prediction list.
Put that on the top of my prediction list.
Okay, so this is
Write that
going
on
to
your
be...
butt.
Joe Biden will not show up.
Okay, will not show up to both debates?
Any of them.
Why
Okay.
do you think?
They won't let him.
His handlers, you think?
That's correct. This is all bullshit until the 17th. Gives
27th.
them some more time to 27th of June to play like they're actually going to do something about debating.
Mm-hmm.
They're never going to have a debate.
Here's what I'm afraid of. Why just all of a sudden, okay, we'll debate. I'm afraid they're going to make something up and twist it
That's why there won't be one.
toward Trump.
Trump's going to wait him out because he figures Biden will either get sick, die, or they'll pull the plug on it.
I think you might be right about the second debate. I think he's going to make it to June. He may die before the other one, though, that's supposed to happen in September, I think. Right? Yeah. All right. Interesting take on that. Let's assume that he does live and his handlers do allow him to attend. Will you watch then?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. So as long as he's there, you'll watch.
But
Now,
what are all the stipulations and stuff that they said?
one of the stipulations was Trump wanted a live audience, and Biden said no because Trump riles the audience up, et cetera, et cetera. That, I think all of this, personally, the stipulations, the back and forth about, yes, I'll do this, no, I won't do that, we'll only do 2 debates, not 4, all of it is because both candidates, I think, fear, or at least their campaigns, I would say, fear them doing something very bad in the debate, whether it's
Yes.
Joe Biden stammering and not being able to put a sentence together, or it's Donald Trump saying some wild shit about racism or how he wants to have a 5th term as a president, which we'll get to in a minute. I think both campaigns are terrified that their candidate is going to do something that is so detrimental to the campaign they will lose. That's why they have minimized the number. That's why there's no live audience, et cetera, et cetera. The list goes on. Sorry, go ahead, Mom.
It's going to come down to lie after lie after lie. That's what I'm afraid of. All of a sudden they said, sure, we'll debate, Biden's side. They've come up with some good lies. And that's why they're going to, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I can't wait.
There won't be one.
Dad said they're not going to have it. We'll see.
All right. I think that they will. I think at least the first debate will happen. Then we're going to have to see what happens in that debate. If something terrible happens, you're right. I think Biden's people may pull the plug on debate number 2 or who knows. I also am curious, I mean, we'll never know this. Maybe in decades from now when a book gets written or something. What do you think they're going to pump into Biden to make him able to stand up there for a couple of hours and get through this?
I know.
Straight
Trump
cocaine?
already,
What are they
I
giving
saw-
him?
I saw where Trump said he wanted a drug test before for each person up there.
Honestly, it's smart. I think they may have to drug Biden to get him out there. I don't know what they're going to put in his veins,
And he had
but
to
I
give
don't
him
think
some
that guy's...
adrenaline, cocaine.
Sure, just give him a
That
shot of
bag that he
adrenaline.
left at the White House.
It
Probably
could
got
be.
one in that bag.
Now, who do you think is going to win these debates? I assume, Mom and Dad, you think Trump.
By
Yes.
a landslide.
Yes.
Okay. Haley, who do you think is going to win the debate?
I kind of think Donald Trump. I
I
feel
do
like
too.
Biden won't be coherent. I feel like it's going to be just a complete embarrassment.
I agree.
I've already kind of prepared myself for Donald Trump being our next president and looked into maybe moving to Scotland. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
that's
That's nice.
Scotland. Are you
Hey,
watching
Scotland.
Hey,
Outlander?
Scotland.
Why
I
Scotland?
don't know. Well,
Well-
we've been there and we liked it.
Yeah. Okay.
You're
Now
so
here's
full of shit.
You're so full of shit. So are you.
just having a bit of
By now
fun.
you've-
Just having a wee bit of fun with you, Daddy.
You talk about killing people in the streets. You're full of shit as well.
Yeah, well, I haven't started
If
yet.
I had money, if I had the money and could, I would move to Scotland.
Well, you don't.
Have you
won't.
been to Scotland?
Yes, motherfucker. I told you that. We've
Oh,
been to
don't
Scotland. We
call
went a
me
couple years
names.
ago.
Okay.
Don't call me names.
Scotland.
Now,
Okay.
if I may, I had a follow-up
Say
question. Let's assume Trump wins. Does that matter at all in the election? Are the votes already cast?
What are you talking about? What?
Does it really matter who, in quotes, wins the debate or is perceived to have won in terms of the actual election?
Oh, yeah. No.
You think it has an impact?
The debate it has no impact on how people are going to vote. No impact whatsoever. We're all watching for like entertainment purposes.
I actually think it does have an impact on the election. I don't think it's going to change anyone's mind like, oh, now I'm voting for Trump because he won. But I
No.
do think Biden could do something catastrophic enough in these debates that it would turn off voters who might have come out for him that are just like, fuck it, I cannot vote for this guy. I'm not voting. I think that could happen.
Why won't he let
Yeah.
Kennedy debate?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Why won't Biden let Kennedy debate?
I think he understands that if Kennedy is in this race in any kind of a meaningful way, it will siphon potential votes off of him, but probably not Trump. So most of the time, third-party candidates siphon from the Democratic candidate.
But if
There have
he
been some
has-
exceptions, but
If he has a percentage, he is supposed to be allowed to debate, right?
well, I believe the rules, at least set up by the CPD.
DNC.
Uh-huh.
Well, the DNC has their own shit, but the CPD, which again, none of these are CPD debates, which is the first time that that's
Oh.
happened since
Okay.
that organization was founded in 1987. Their rules, I believe, dictate you have to be polling at least 15%, and you have to be
Right.
on a ballot in X amount of states that would
States.
allow you to at least get the 270 electoral college votes that you need. I don't know if Kennedy Jr. qualifies for that, honestly, but I also don't know if those rules are applying to this. I don't know. The reason they're not doing it is because they don't want you to have another option. They don't want the public to feel like there is another person that you could possibly be voting for. And if you saw a third person on that stage, you might get that idea.
And even if Biden has in the earpiece and they're telling him what to say, he's still gonna.
He's not
screw
going to
it
have
up.
an earpiece. They will not. That is disaster. Can you imagine that? That's the headline on the New York Times. Biden getting fed lines in the debate. He's not going to have
He
an
will
earpiece.
have to.
He
And
won't.
of course, he will know the questions in advance. Just like, remember who is the black lady that gave them all the questions in advance?
No.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot her name.
All right. Let's move on to our second topic, the Butker speech. Three-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs Harrison Butker delivered a commencement speech at Benedictine College this week in which he referred to Pride Month as an example of the, quote, deadly sins, as he advocated for a more conservative brand of Catholicism. Quote, not the deadly sins sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it, but the true God-centered pride that is cooperating with the Holy Ghost to glorify him, end quote. Butker spoke for more than 20 minutes to students at the Catholic school in Atchison, Kansas, saying he wanted the graduating class to prevent political leaders from interfering with social issues that impact their relationship with the church. Sarah Kate Ellis, president and CEO of GLAAD, a nonprofit LGBTQ advocacy organization, said in a Wednesday statement, quote, "Those with expansive platforms, especially athletes, should use their voices to uplift and expand and understand and acceptance in the world. Instead, Butker's remarks undermine experiences not of his own and reveal him to be one who goes against his own team's commitment to the Kansas City community and the NFL's standards for respect, inclusion, and diversity across the league," end quote. Butker also delivered his views of women's roles in the speech, saying, quote, "It is you, the women, who have had the most diabolic lies told to you. Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world," end quote. Butker's jersey sales have increased significantly since the speech. The women's jersey, which sells for $129.99, is out of stock on the official Chiefs Pro Shop. His men's jersey is among the top sellers on NFLshop.com, listed as the most popular in the Kansas City Chiefs line. The NFL distanced itself from the ideas Butker expressed in his speech. NFL Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer Jonathan Bean said in a statement that Butker gave the speech, quote, "in his personal capacity. His views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger." Now, Haley, I assume you don't agree with Butker.
Yeah, I think it dropped like when I was at the bakery and we were all reading it simultaneously and just like, is this fucking real? Like, no, what? So, you then have to ask yourself, who is this asshole? Do I really? I don't give a shit about him. He was at a Catholic college, right?
Yeah.
Giving like a religious fucking commencement speech. So like it makes sense. Obviously, no, I don't agree with him. It's laughable for me, but the non-laughable part of this is that like his jersey is selling out. People are like, yes, I applaud you. Yes, a woman belongs in the kitchen and shit. But it's nothing we haven't seen for the last 2-3 years. Like, that's the direction that this fucking world is going, and it's scary. It's sad. It's why I want to move. But I do believe in free speech, and he was at a religious fucking university delivering this garbage. So, I mean, I'm mad about it, but like, I kind of expect it at this point from somebody like that. So,
all right, Mom, do you agree with what he said?
Yes. It was his opinion. He could say anything he wanted, right?
Yeah. But do you agree with the statements that a woman should be a mom and excited about that and not really work?
Yes.
You did work. Most of your life you worked.
His whole speech was about a traditional marriage.
Trad wife, yeah.
He is a Catholic, so it was a little bit faith-based, I guess. But see, the left's, that doesn't fit into their mindset. A traditional family with family values. I feel half of our country should have zeroed in on that speech and said it's great. I think the NFL should be ashamed of not backing him. Hunt, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs' wife, came out, applauded him, gave him kudos. So did the daughter. They backed him 100%.
All right.
And by the way, the NFL is a historic relic.
In what way?
His,
like the USFL, that new one that Rock started, it's going to run them out of business. In fact, if I was this kicker, I'd quit the Chiefs and go to the other league.
That absolutely will not happen. Multiple times, people have tried to start other professional football leagues, like Vince McMahon's XFL.
Wait,
no, it's not.
There was blowback to this speech, and he wanted to go on the record and clarify what he said. And his clarification was even worse than the original fucking speech.
No, it wasn't.
Like, it was absolutely, it was a terrible fucking, what he thought was going to be, let me clear the air. It was awful.
Let me clear this.
Hang on a second.
He didn't discourage women from pursuing
Find that
a
and
career.
read it.
He did not discourage women.
He literally said, my wife's life began the day that she married me and had our children.
Right. That brought family forward. Like the most important thing.
That's what she wanted.
The most important thing is motherhood.
Not every woman wants that, and that's the point. What do you got
to say? What do you have to say to women that want to be housewives and raise children?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Nothing. They should do it.
I am
well, then shut your pie hole.
No, that's
for whatever a woman chooses to fucking do, and what he wants to do is take that away, just like Donald Trump and every other fucking legislator.
See, this is what liberals do. They misinterpret things and twist it their way.
Can you read the rebuttal? Can you read what he came back with?
About family foundations, and he is Catholic through the eyes of Catholic-based religion.
And if I'm not mistaken, that school you're questioning about him, it's actually his alma mater.
Yeah, it is, where he went to school. That's why they asked him to speak.
It's in Kansas, and it's a very small Catholic school.
That's why they asked him to speak.
I guess this whole thing is real fucking rich, considering his mother is a physicist. Yeah, she's like an acclaimed fucking working woman.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that women couldn't have a career, Haley. He was just trying to say,
I need Chad to pull it up.
I'm trying to find it.
The only God, what? Let me fucking find it.
Why don't you?
He also stated this, Haley, that his wife, all of his success became the day that he married his wife, and they worked on it together. And she was a homemaker. What's wrong with that? He didn't break any laws. He didn't say anything weird. He brought forth family foundations and marriage, and a homemaker is good.
He brought in traditional family, which goes against the grain of all you LGBT, ABC, EFG freaks.
But
he spoke the truth.
My initial question was, do you agree with what he said? Dad, do you?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. I don't agree with what he said, but I also think he has a full right as an invited speaker at this commencement speech to say whatever he wants on that stage. Right. And the public can react however it wants to. That's the world we live in. You're doing something publicly, the public will react.
Here's the world we live in, and it's pretty...
The NFL, I'll make, put this on my prediction list.
Okay.
10 years from now, there won't be an NFL.
Yeah, that's what Dad thinks.
Absolutely wrong.
We may not be here in 10 years, but
we'll see.
Now, here's the part of that I think is so just, oh my God. Like what
NFL's digging a hole they're never going to get out of.
People are making such a big stink about this speech, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't people screaming at the top of their lungs about P. Diddy kicking the ex-girlfriend, the video clip down the hall and abusing her?
Yeah, they are.
Everyone wants him in prison.
They're not screaming at the top of their lungs.
Absolutely are.
This is like number one.
No.
You stand on that one, Haley.
She's a P. Diddy supporter through and through, no matter what he does.
Kicking women down the hallway.
He belongs in prison.
The ex should have got up and kicked his ass back.
What P. Diddy is doing, I mean that, but many other things too, is seemingly extremely criminal. Butker did nothing criminal. He just gave a speech and told his views to a Catholic school, which is a conservative, religious organization.
Exactly. And like you said, Chad, he has the right to do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was out of line.
Why would people think that they could start a petition to take his job away?
Because I agree with you. That is what the radical left.
How did you feel about Kaepernick?
Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. We know how they felt about that.
Like him, you know why?
Right. So you don't agree with that freedom of speech.
Yeah,
you agree with this freedom of speech.
Here's the difference. Listen to your dad.
The kicker made no crass remarks against America or the United States. Colin Kaepernick's entire protest was against this country.
He actually did, because in his rebuttal, he said, the only Me Too movement I want to see is a woman telling her friend, I'm having my 4th child, and her friend saying Me Too.
That's great.
That was part of his like,
Kaepernick
let me clear the
was
air.
Anti-American.
You don't think that's anti-American?
This guy is anti-woman.
Kaepernick is anti-American.
50% of this country is made of women. So you don't think a statement like that is anti-American?
What? No.
He wants his wife
you
in
know
the
why?
kitchen,
you
pregnant
know why?
and taking care
you know
of
why,
his home
Chad
life.
and Haley? You know why it's not anti-American?
Huh.
Because Haley's group is about 10% of the 50% that make up women in America. The other 40% want to have babies and raise families.
Haley has had babies and raised a family.
I want to have babies and raise
she's
families,
against,
but also
she's
have a
against
career.
everybody else doing it.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you one final question on this.
And by the way, let's get on that topic.
Here we go.
Let's get on that topic.
Dad's
what topic?
Up.
Where in the hell did you go the other night when your two daughters had a concert?
What?
What? Where'd you go?
I know what he's talking about.
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. You drove up to Tulsa and went to a concert the same night that your two daughters were playing their last one.
Yeah, I bought concert tickets
give me
6
an
months in
excuse
advance.
For that is the crappiest
Do you
thing
want to
I've
get
ever
into
heard.
bad parenting? Do you really
Oh,
want to
shit.
bad parenting?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Do we want to get into that?
Oh, no.
You really want to try to make an excuse for that? That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Dad's away.
Okay.
All
I'm
right.
not even going to begin this conversation because if you want to talk about disgusting parenting behavior, that's not on me. I'm not even going to start this on this fucking forum because you'll be fucking embarrassed.
All right.
Okay.
Let's simmer down. We've gotten very riled up. Let's simmer down with this question. Have any of you tried the brand new ChatGPT 4.0? Hello?
Is that what talks to me on my computer and I don't like it?
If you haven't used it, the no, that's not it. It's not like Siri. It's completely different. Have you used it, Haley?
This isn't Siri. This is a thing that starts asking questions if I want to know things and stuff, and I don't like it.
It's probably not ChatGPT 4.0. Do you have ChatGPT, the app, on your phone or anywhere on your computer?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Haley, you have it?
Yes.
Right now, you can switch to the 4.0 model, which came out last week. And have you seen the movie Her, Mom and Dad?
No.
Haley, have you seen it? Probably. Yes. It's Her. We're living in that time now. You have a full AI thing that will talk to you, learn about you, help you do tasks. I highly recommend that you start using this immediately because this is the direction of all computer-based AI stuff. You're going to need to be able to talk to these things. And
what's on my computer that talks
I don't know. I don't know what you have on your computer.
I'll have to find out what it is. I don't like it.
Download
Siri.
No,
download.
It's not Siri. It's not. It's not Siri.
Download ChatGPT. Make sure you're on the 4.0 model and you can speak to this thing and it will speak back to you in a voice that sounds like a human being.
AI Chat 4.0?
Nope. It's
like
GPT-4 little lowercase o, like the letter O, not the number.
Here it is. Ask Meta.
That's not, no, Meta's is terrible. Google's is terrible. OpenAI is the company that's making this. They are smoking everybody in the AI race right now.
Okay.
Well, all right. Nobody's used the most revolutionary technology on planet Earth, but me apparently.
I see it.
And I give it glowing reviews. It is like magic at this point. All right.
What does it do?
Anything you want.
Everything?
Yes. It's getting there.
What's
it
the
can't
icon?
Huh?
What's the icon look like?
It's the OpenAI icon. It's like a kind of flower, I guess, or I don't even know what. It's like a geometric.
Like a teal background.
Nope. Should be white. It's OpenAI's ChatGPT. If you can't find that, it is not my fault. Jesus Christ. All right. Are you guys ready for the next topic?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trump's NRA speech. On Saturday, Trump took the stage to address a crowd at the NRA convention in Dallas. Part of his speech included the idea of a third presidential term if he wins in November. Trump said, FDR, 16 years. Almost 16 years. He was 4 terms. I don't know. Are we going to be considered 3-term or 2-term? It's not the first time Trump has mentioned extending his stay in the White House. He also suggested the idea while on the campaign trail in 2020. The NRA is much different than the one that supported him 8 years ago. In May 2016, the organization spent more than $30 million to help send him to the White House. On Saturday, the NRA endorsed Trump again, but the group has been embattled with scandals, internal power struggles, and lawsuits that have emptied its coffers, spurring uncertainty about how much cash it can put forward to support Trump at a time his own war chest lags behind Biden's. The politics around guns has shifted in recent years as gun violence continues to plague the country. After the Uvalde school shooting in 2022, Democrats and Republicans voted for the bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the first gun safety legislation in 30 years, perceived to be a massive blow to the NRA. Haley, do you think Trump is serious about a third term?
Yeah, I think he wants to eliminate terms altogether.
Mom, do you think he's serious about it?
Yes, I think he is, and it would be wonderful.
Dad, do you think he's serious about it?
No, I just think he's throwing it out there so everybody can get used to the idea.
But used to the idea so that eventually he will run for a third term or claim a third term?
No, I don't think he will. I don't think he thinks it's possible to win again.
Well, I mean, it's not legally possible to have...
It's just something to rile the left up, thinking that, oh my God, he might be in there for 2 more.
Yeah. I mean, it is not legally possible to have 3 terms as a president currently because of the 22nd Amendment, but...
After this next term, he's going to be Biden's age.
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think, Haley, that the NRA is as important now as it was in 2016 in terms of financial support or even the perception of public support?
Yeah, I think the NRA has a lot of power. I mean, especially here in Texas. Fucking Greg Abbott is funded by them. I think they have immense power, yes.
Mom, do you think they're still as powerful?
Yes, very important.
Dad?
Yep.
Now, you guys are both multiple gun owners, Mom and Dad, but are you members of the NRA?
No.
No.
Why not?
Why be?
Because they're in lockstep with your political beliefs and they support your political candidates.
That's all I need to do. Self-protection.
Mom?
I don't need the NRA.
We're ready. Locked and loaded.
Mom, why are you not a member of the NRA?
Never felt the need that we had to, that we had to join. Nobody's pressured us.
We lived in Texas and Oklahoma and Kansas.
We've always had guns locked and loaded.
You don't need to worry about the NRA in those 3 states.
Why is that?
Because they're dominant.
But don't you think probably the most members of the NRA come from states just like the ones you mentioned?
Yeah, and you know what it's from? It's not from owning pistols and rifles. It's from owning hunting guns.
Okay.
Most of the people that belong to the NRA are hunters.
I don't know if that's accurate or not. I don't know how to even look up that stat. But
I think if you look it up, you'll find that at least 50% or more are hunters.
Let me see. Let me see if I can get this stat quickly.
NRA.
Give it a shot.
Percent.
Hunting.
Hunters.
Yeah, you're roughly right. NRA members also hunt and shoot with more frequency than gun owners who aren't NRA members. 50% say they go hunting often, or sometimes, compared with 30% of non-members. 66% of NRA members go shooting often or sometimes versus 49% of non-members. How often do you guys go shooting?
We haven't in a long time.
It's been a while.
Same.
All
right.
Fun.
Well, I guess we're moving on to Israel's war cabinet falling apart. Benny Gantz, a centrist member of Israel's 3-member war cabinet, threatened to resign from the government last Saturday. What?
His head. I said, where'd he go?
I moved.
He threatened to resign Saturday if Israel doesn't adopt a new plan in 3 weeks' time for the war in Gaza. A move that would... What are you showing us, Mom?
Joining the NRA, it's $30 for 1 year. Special, regularly $45. For 5 years, $150. It's not very much.
Might as well do it.
What are the benefits?
What's
the benefit?
I'm looking. I don't know.
All right, as you're looking, I'm going to continue reading this thing, unless you cannot pay attention and do that too.
The hunting community.
Okay, Mom, can you
I don't hunt.
I'm paying attention.
Then you don't want to join.
All right. Benny Gantz has threatened to quit.
You do own a gun.
Who?
Okay, yeah.
We all have guns.
Yeah.
Benny Gantz.
To buy like 10 more.
You what?
Are you really?
Yeah, I think like Conrad and I talk about it a lot. I think we're gonna go buy like a handful and just have like an arsenal.
Why?
Just in case.
I guess why not? Like
for the fall.
In Texas.
Yeah, gonna come shoot us.
But what do you think you're gonna use all those guns for? What do you think you'll need more than one gun for?
I don't know. Each child.
Oh, you gotta have more than one.
Hand them over.
Just each child.
Over. They're all almost adults. I feel at this point, like the country that we live in, like at some point shit might pop off. There's either going to be a revolutionary war of some kind because we get sick of the right's shit. Mom and Dad always think it's going to be them murdering everybody else, but they're wrong because the other side is just as angry. So I live in Texas where you can conceal carry. Like I was in an Uber the other day and he had a fucking gun just on him.
You can do the same thing in Kansas and Oklahoma.
That's where we live. I already have a gun. I would like to get out to the range and learn how to shoot more. The kids are getting older. They have never touched a gun. They want nothing to do with it. But I feel like I need maybe a better gun, and I want Conrad to have one too.
A better gun?
You have a 38.
What kind of gun do you have now that's not doing the job?
Whatever, Mom and Dad. What is it?
It's a 38 revolver.
Yeah, I want like a Romeo and Juliet, you know.
Oh, like a Desert Eagle, 50 caliber hand cannon.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Benefits by joining the NRA. You get 24/7 defense of your gun rights. You get a choice of a magazine. You get official membership card and decal. You get savings and special offers from the partners that partner with them, which is home security systems, personal firearms insurance, life, health, and accident insurance, and travel assistant, property and liability insurance, PenFed credit union discounts, identity theft protection, emergency assistance, plus protection, wine club discounts. There you go. NRA travel center discounts, and the list goes on and on. Says more and more.
It's like AARP,
but with
for
guns.
Gun owners. All right, cool.
Yeah.
But with guns.
Moving on now to our fourth and final topic, we are talking about the war in Gaza. Benny Gantz, a centrist member of Israel's 3-member war cabinet, threatened to resign from the government on Saturday if it doesn't adopt a new plan in 3 weeks' time for the war in Gaza, a move that would leave Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu more reliant on his far-right allies. His announcement escalates a divide within Israel's leadership more than 7 months into a war in which it has yet to accomplish its stated goals of dismantling Hamas and returning scores of hostages abducted in the October 7th attack. Netanyahu is under growing pressure on multiple fronts. Hardliners in his government want the military offensive on Gaza's southernmost city of Rafah to press ahead with the goal of crushing Hamas. Top ally the United States and others have warned against the offensive on a city where more than half of Gaza's population of 2.3 million people have sheltered. Hundreds of thousands have now fled, and they have threatened to scale back support over Gaza's humanitarian crisis. The war began after Hamas' October 7th attack on southern Israel that killed 1,200 people and took 250 others hostage. Israel says around 100 hostages are still captive in Gaza, along with the bodies of around 30 more people. The Israeli army has killed more than 35,000 Palestinians in Gaza, local health officials say, while hundreds more have been killed in the occupied West Bank. So, where'd Dad go?
He had to go to the restroom.
All right. I feel like he will have probably the most intense opinions here about this. Do you think, Mom, that this is a sign of Netanyahu losing support even within his own government, that one of his 3 war cabinet ministers has said, if you don't figure out what we're fucking doing here, I'm out?
No, he'll just bring in somebody else. He's not going to quit till it's all over. And I don't know. If you heard early this morning, and I'm trying to find more news on it, but I can't find it. A helicopter that was carrying the Iranian president reported
and prime minister.
It said president
and prime minister.
Yeah, and prime minister went down. A hard landing, and they're not. I don't know if they found the helicopter. They crashed in a mountain.
And they're unaccounted for? I didn't fucking read this. Holy shit.
Crashed. It happened like 2 hours ago.
Should be producing the podcast. Hello. Yeah.
Please do it. Please produce the podcast.
No. I'm teasing. That was, I think, about 10:30 our time this morning that happened.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. Helicopter carrying Iran's president. Search underway.
And foreign minister. Yeah, went down.
A helicopter carrying Iranian president and his foreign minister crashed on Sunday as it was crossing a mountain terrain in heavy fog, an Iranian official told Reuters. The official said
got hit by an Israeli missile.
Their lives are at risk following the crash, which happened on the way back from a visit to the border.
20 rescue teams and drones have been sent to the area where it went down. I don't think they found him yet. That's not good. Now,
yeah, they're saying bad weather was the cause of the crash. Is that remotely possible? Or was this something else?
I don't
know.
Yeah, maybe. That's pretty nuts. Well, then we're looking at a World War III scenario. Is this getting closer to that, do you feel?
Not from Iran.
No, I'm saying like, let's say that is what happened here. That Israel shot a missile at the Iranian president's helicopter and maybe successfully took him out. That obviously is a step beyond what's happening in Gaza. That's a completely different country. And at this point, the United States, which I would consider to be kind of at least publicly, globally, is kind of the arbiter of like, how far are we going to let this escalate? So far, the United States has not only been okay with the genocide, it has funded some of it. Would they be okay with that step, with Israel now firing missiles at the Iranian president's helicopter?
Doesn't matter whether the United States agrees with it or not. What you guys are all missing here is the cabinet from Netanyahu. It doesn't matter whether all of them leave. He's going to finish the fucking job, and you can take that to the bank.
And if this president really did go down, they'll just bring in vice president, and it'll keep going.
They still got the Ayatollah.
But that's kind of scary. Yeah.
Did you see there was an assassination attempt on the president of Slovakia as well?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Just opened fire on his car.
4 times.
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. Shit's getting wild. Let me ask you this about the Gaza genocide. Do you think that Netanyahu will go into Rafah despite the U.S. and he's just going to go and obliterate everybody?
He's going to wipe their ass out.
And now that they've retrieved those 3 bodies, and 4 now, and that one girl that was so sad where they were throwing her in the back of the truck, that one's dead. That's really going to
He's not going to stop until every single Hamas is exterminated.
And serious, how many?
You can take that to the fucking bank, and there ain't nobody, including Joe fucking Biden, who's going to stop it.
And how many prisoners do you really think are still alive?
And if it's genocide, tough shit.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Yourself, Hamas.
Here's the thing with this. There is no way to, in quotes, get rid of Hamas. The more of this that Netanyahu does, the more
you
Hamas...
have to exterminate all the Palestinians. Then you got rid of Hamas.
You can't do that, though. You can't kill everybody. And everybody...
There's only about 1 million of them left.
Right, and they've killed 35,000. So you think he's going to kill millions? You think the death toll is going to reach millions?
Sure.
I don't know.
Before it's over, 100%.
And at the point that it crosses, let's say, 1 million people killed in service of this genocide, do you believe that the world is just going to sit by and be like, yep, fuck it, they killed 1 million people? Why is that? Already that's not the case.
I'll tell you why.
You're seeing protests everywhere about this.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
There's not a single fucking country who stepped up to tell them to quit it now and put any meat behind it. And all he's done is give them the fucking finger. Let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
These guys are not to be fucked with.
I'm totally agreeing with you. Nobody's stopping him from doing what he's done so far,
and
which is kill 35,000 people. But 1 million people is a lot more. Right. And now we're talking about Rafah, where pretty much all the refugees are.
The best thing on planet Earth that could happen is for the Palestinians to be exterminated.
I know that is your personal belief, but I'm just talking about the logistics here. You don't think that the world would have some reaction to killing 1 million people?
No.
Mom, do you?
We're not having a reaction right now with millions coming across our southern border. No one seems to give a shit about that except me.
What?
Sitting right here talking about it every week.
Whoa. How did that logic jump take place? We're talking about genocide going on in Gaza, and then you liken it somehow to people crossing the southern border.
First of all, I don't like you calling it genocide. I call it war, and there is collateral damage.
Well, you call it what you call it. I'll call it what I call it.
All right.
It is a genocide. He's trying to exterminate a population of people.
Well, you know what's funny? You're contradicting yourself. There's no way they're going to kill 1 million people. They've only killed 35,000. How in the fuck is that genocide?
I'm not saying only 35,000 people, because they're targeting a specific group of people and killing as many as they can. That's the definition of it. You want me to pull up the definition of genocide?
No.
I'll do it for you.
So Hamas was doing the same thing.
The deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. That's exactly what they're doing.
And that's Hamas.
Okay.
They didn't do that. Yeah, who did that?
They did the same music festival.
There's something very weird that takes place when we talk about this. You think I'm on the side of Hamas. I am not. I also don't think what they're doing is good. Killing of anybody for any reason, I am 100% against.
Well, we got to thin the herd, brother. There's too many fucking people on the planet.
I did read.
And the first million I want to see go bye-bye are the Palestinians, and then I want to start working on the Chinese.
Wait. If you're for murder, why are you against Hamas?
I'm not against what they did as far as what you consider genocide. What I'm against is their beliefs, because we're next.
So they're murdering for the wrong reasons. You're looking for somebody who's murdering for the right reasons.
That's right.
Okay.
Murdering the wrong people. I would murder the right people.
I see.
On the
perfect
YouTube
logical
channel,
sense.
On the YouTube channel, there was
a comment. You live in a Western culture, and you sat here promoting Middle East bullshit.
There was a comment that said Chad is always on the fence.
I'm not on the fence at all.
Or the other.
I'm not on the fence at all. The fence doesn't fucking exist. The fence is something that's in your mind. It's not real. There are not two teams.
Oh,
nope.
Give it to you this week.
Great.
Get your sorry butthole off of it.
They'll give it to you this week again on YouTube channel.
There is no fence. There are not two sides.
The best day I have left in my life is when you realize you have to pick a fucking side, because it's going to happen.
It will never happen. I'm on one side.
Yeah.
The side of existence, fundamental reality. That's all I give a shit about. This idea of like, have you seen Rise or Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes yet?
No.
That's what the idea of sides is. Just monkeys throwing rocks at each other. It's a base stupidity in the lizard brain of human beings. That is not real.
And none of this is real.
It's not. It's all fucking made up. Every religion, every country.
When you say that shit, Chad.
So when you get a bullet in the head, that won't be real.
No, it won't be. That's exactly correct. This is not real, first of all.
Quiet.
But certainly the little systems
that brain goes.
We are scared and stupid animals running around on a giant rock, hurtling through space, going 1,000,000 miles an hour to nowhere. That's the truth of it. And to try and make sense of all of it, we take comfort in our pre-evolutionary brain, the little impulses we have that are like, that person is different or that thing is different, therefore I hate it, it must be destroyed because it threatens my perception of reality, what makes me comfortable. And that's just a bad way to think. We don't need to think that way anymore. Unfortunately, there are also things tied into it like money and geopolitical interests, all of which also are completely fabricated ideas. And I want to do away with all of it because I don't think it's working for us as a society. I don't think it ever really has. And we're seeing now the results of that. We argue about these things every week. 35,000 people have died in Gaza. For what reason? Why?
Because they're Palestinian terrorists.
And the idea of Palestinian is just an idea. It's not even a real thing.
That's right. And I want it to go away.
So do I.
All right. This has been fun.
It has indeed. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We had a heated one. I hope it was fun for those out there listening and watching to this.
Yeah.
Once again, if you have questions for any or all of us, send them to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. Make sure it's recorded in a 1-minute or shorter audio format, and we'll play the best ones here. We have the debates coming up. I'm very curious to see what our show becomes as those debates start rolling out in a little more than a month. 5 weeks about is the first debate that's going to be on CNN between Trump and Biden. I can't wait for it. Until then, before we go, as always, Haley, I love you. Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you, despite your genocidal inclinations.
Oh, God.
Mom,
Haley.
I love you. Dad, I love you. Chad, I love you.
Chad and Haley, I love you. Bob, I love you.
Haley, I love you. Chad, I love you. Mary, I love you. Peace out.
No, just a minute. I got one shout out.
May the Palestinians go to hell and rot.
I have a shout out. Congratulations to one of my friends, Jules Curry, completed her paramedic degree. So now she can go save more lives. It's weird. I think someday she might save mine. I've got a weird feeling she's going to save my life someday. Congrats, Jules. It wasn't easy.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Okay.